What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast. Yesterday, we saw UFC 308 between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria. Ilia, obviously, everybody watched the fight. Ilia is the first person ever to knock out Max Holloway and retain and still UFC featherweight champion. There was some great fights on the main card. Shara Bullet, double spinning back fist knockout. We watched Robert Whitaker literally get his jaw snapped off. We're going to talk about it all here. We'll touch the prelims. We're going to break down the main card. We're going to recap everything that was UFC 308. If you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, don't forget, click the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and like the video. If you're listening on any audio-only platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, etc., don't forget to follow and turn on automatic downloads. Never miss another one. Enjoy. See you on the next one, baby. Peace.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And, like, when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
You don't doubt me, so I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Never pound for pound. Headshot, dead. That's it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast with your hosts, Evan and Joel. We're joined by a friend of the pod today, Thomas. Welcome, man. Thank you for coming on and chopping it up with us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Fresh off of UFC 308.
Like literally fresh, like
literally
3
fresh.
hours fresh.
We typically do not get the opportunity to record our recap episodes this close to the fights. So we normally recorded the day after. We've all had some time to kind of settle down, chew on what we watched the night before, things like that. Today is not that case. It's still very, very fresh for some of us, more maybe for some than others. But we're fresh off UFC 308. If you're watching this video or listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music, on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, like the video. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music, turn on automatic downloads. Never miss another episode. Rate the show 5 stars. Leave us a comment. There's also a link in the description of the audio-only versions where you can click the link and send us direct text messages. So we want to hear from you guys, whoever listens. We want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts on UFC 308, what you thought about the main event, the co-main event. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. The double spinning back fist.
Craziness, dude.
Lots to chew up on.
Should start with
in
that.
Abu Dhabi.
I think we do start with that.
Okay. All right.
I know you guys usually start at the top and work your way down, right?
Murky, here's what Murky wants to do right now. Murky wants to go right into the fucking Ilia Topuria fight. So
And that's
he
all we
can
talk
get his
about.
fucking 27 cents in
Yeah.
and just talk about it for 20 fucking minutes.
Okay. Let's start then. Let's
Slow
start.
your roll,
We'll start main card because I think we can all agree on this. Aside from RDA getting hurt and losing to Jeff Neal, sad to see, probably could be the end of RDA. We may never see RDA fight again.
Yeah.
And Ibo Aslan, the Turkish power, with an insane KO under a minute against a guy that I really didn't think was that great and, making a UFC debut anyway. Great performance. But, and then you had your fight of the night, which was Rebecca and Oralbai, which was an insane scrap, blood everywhere. Aside from that, like the prelims were okay, not great, lots of decisions.
John Jones versus DC 2024.
Yeah, Chris Barnett, Kennedy, and Chekwu.
And
Chekwu. Imagine you actually knowing the name of somebody. Crazy.
Damn, dude. I'm the fucking name guy, dude. That's what I do.
Yeah, he makes up names like the announcers do.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, just make who was that they were mispronouncing?
They kept saying Rozbecki. They were calling him
Round Becky or
no, it wasn't even Becky. Yeah, it was something weird. They're doing something weird with Matus Rebecki's name. I don't know whatever. I don't know. He does have a little squiggle on the E. Maybe there's a weird pronunciation there, but All right, so but I think we can agree like there's not a whole lot to really dive into and discuss on the prelims besides like the few things that I mentioned. But we can get right into the main card and the fight that opened up UFC 308 pay-per-view. The main card, Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Armin Petrosyan. Shara gets the second round TKO with a double spinning back fist.
Which probably one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
It was one of the craziest things, for sure.
Like, not only was it just impressive the way he set it up, but the execution and everything, like, it was unbelievable. Like, there's no way anybody can go and find me right now another knockout that was even close to being that cool.
I don't think I've ever even seen somebody throw that strike.
No.
Not to mention land it. I don't know that I've ever even seen anybody attempt to throw it. And he's claiming that he's trained it. It was the first strike that he learned in Muay Thai when he was a kid.
He was like, I've been training it for 12 years.
Was he just talking about the back fist though, or specifically the double?
Specifically the double. It sounded like, but I find that hard to believe. But he threw that motherfucker with confidence, so I don't know. Like he threw it like he's done it before.
Beat him Bo Nickel, man. Like Bo Nickel beats Paul Craig. Let's see Bo Nickel Shara Bullet.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting matchup.
I'm interested to see Bo Nickel fight some tougher opponents and see what he can do. I know we talked about that while we were watching the fight. And
well, Shara's proved himself from the first. Dude, I can say this from the first fight he ever had in the UFC against Bruno Silva to now, like. He's improved tenfold. Like every fight he's gotten better, which is scary. I
haven't seen all of his fights, but I've seen a few of them. And the one I think I even said it while we were watching it. He looked better today than he's ever looked.
Yeah, I mean, but Armin Petrosyan, like as bad as it, like as crazy as it sounds, wasn't striking bad at all.
No, Armin Petrosyan's kickboxing is really good and it's clean. It just goes to show you, like, I don't know.
Because he rocked him in the first.
He did. I mean, he caught him a few times. Like, we've known this prior to this fight, but, like, Shara throws kicks from everywhere. Yep. In his last fight, he was throwing head kicks, like, in the pocket up close. Like, he does the weirdest stuff with his kicks. He has every kick in his arsenal that you can think of. Now we just saw a double spinning back fist. So I'm not sure there's a strike that's humanly possible to do or throw that he can't do.
Yeah, I know. I would agree.
And land and be successful at. His striking's elite. There's no doubt. I know previously in his earlier fight in the UFC, he had some, difficulty in the grappling exchanges, and he still won that fight. He overcame it, and then, like you said, Joel, he obviously has significantly improved since then.
For sure.
So, if Bo Nickel does go out there in November in Madison Square Garden and take care of Paul Craig, it's interesting. Bo Nickel has his own kind of plan on how he wants to climb the ranks. Shara is not ranked. Bo still wants an unranked opponent. I don't know if Shara Bullet's the one he had in mind, but
Shara Bullet may be getting a fucking top 10 fight next.
Well, that's true too. I mean, it's tough to say.
We don't even know what's next for him after that shit.
It's tough to say, if whose paths cross now, Yep. Earlier, a few years back, not 1 or 2 years ago, even we were kind of talking about, and we'll get into this, I'm sure in a little bit, but we were talking about Khamzat and Bo Nickel. And those two were talking shit back and forth with each other about their wrestling and this and that. And I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Dude, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Michael Pereira versus Shara Bullet. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good stylistic fight.
He just got dominated.
I know.
Yeah, he just got dominated.
But he's still in the top 15, though.
Right.
Yeah, so that would be his fight to stay in the top 15 or drop out.
Or drop out.
And have Shara Bullet move in.
Yeah. Well, because Chris Curtis, I assume, is still hurt, right? He's technically ranked 15th right now. I know he tore his ACL.
Chris Curtis should be like 35. I mean, dude.
You like Chris Curtis?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, you used to like Chris Curtis.
Yeah, I maybe
flip flopped.
Yeah, he's a
so I respect it. It's okay. But Michael Pereira, I mean, yeah, I don't. I think he's definitely at the point now to where, you know, he gets a ranked opponent. Khamzat was ranked 13th in middleweight before tonight. Now he's going to be ranked 3rd.
Yep.
I would assume.
As he should be.
Yeah.
He ranked first. Just bump him to the top.
Yeah,
I mean, Khamzat definitely gets the title shot after Sean Strickland, I think, unless we see like Kai Barola and Izzy fight, and like Izzy just dominates him or something crazy.
Yeah,
like, I feel like that's the only way we see Izzy get the shot before Khamzat, or then we may see. I mean, I would love to see Izzy Khamzat #1 contender fight. Like that would be fucking incredible.
I think that's bad for Izzy.
Yeah, no shit is bad for Izzy.
Yeah, I think that's so bad for Izzy.
But are we saying that a win over Robert Whittaker? I know that it's. I mean, Robert Whittaker's great, but Robert Whittaker did get fucked up by DDP, and then just beat Paulo Costa. You know, he beat Paulo Costa. Cool.
And then he beat he beat an unranked Ikram
Aliskerov, but he was unranked.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, is that win over Robert Whittaker worthy enough for a title shot, or should he have to fight a #1 contender fight?
Well, it sounds like
put himself in that position.
Well, let's table that for a second. Let's get through this until we get up to that co-main event. Let's work our way up the card a little bit till we get to that co-main event.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
that sounds fair.
Super sidetracked.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, because it's all middleweight, right? So your middleweight division, and we've spent at this point hours on this show probably talking about middleweight rankings and how much of a clusterfuck it can get in the top 3 and the top 5. Now you have a guy that's technically ranked 13th. Like it just, you know, it can get messy. It can get complicated, you know, so there's a lot to kind of break down with that. And Shara Bullet, obviously, you know, this is a tough fight. Hey, you know, Arman was landing on him. He's a really good kickboxer, great opponent. Shara Bullet still gets the knockout in the second round. I do think, you know, in talking about the rankings, Shara Magomedov kind of throws his hat into where can he kind of squeeze his way into the top 15.
Sure. I agree.
But yeah, so I'll be looking forward to that. I like Michael Pereira. I think that is, you know, kind of a good thing. He just got beat really bad by Fluffy Hernandez. Yep. So it's going to be like, look, you got up-and-comers in this division that are hungry, that are dangerous. Yep. You got, like, you know, you can't lose the way that you lost and hold a top 15 ranking.
Yep.
For Michael Pereira. So you either need to win or get lost. You know what I mean? Lose your spot. So I think that's fair too.
I agree.
I think that would be fair. So then you had our featherweight bout, which, you know, a lot of people and us included, Joel, we you know, said could be fight of the night. Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige.
That was a battle.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Dan Ige is just a tough motherfucker, man.
He is.
Simple, dude. Like he's one punch from knocking you the fuck out, but he's also like one punch from getting knocked out every
and he
fight,
hurt Lerone Murphy.
Oh
yeah, he knocked him down, just couldn't finish, and then he was able to recover while he was trying to finish, and got a reverse on him, started putting damage on him. I was
surprised that was wrestling in that fight too.
That was a wild sequence. Yeah, the grappling exchanges were really high level, which I did not really expect from either one of those guys at all. You know, like maybe I'm ignorant. I never got that vibe from Dan Ige that he was going to pull some of those rolls and sweeps and reversals that he did tonight.
Exactly.
And, you know, Lerone Murphy's always had this polished, you know, kickboxing Muay Thai style. I never really, you know, kind of tabbed him for one of those people either, but a lot of those grappling exchanges were awesome. Super competitive. You know, went to decision, unanimous. I think the right guy won. Lerone Murphy wins unanimous decision. I think the right guy won in that situation. I don't think there should be any real controversy there.
I mean, good call out by him, Josh Emmett.
I do think so, yeah. Right? I mean, you know, that's, again, featherweight. We saw the title tonight. Josh Emmett is the eighth ranked featherweight in the UFC right now. Yeah. You know, obviously, you know, coming off some losses, but his last fight was his knockout against Bryce Mitchell a year ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a while ago. Oh yeah, almost
Right?
exactly
It
a
was
year ago,
almost
December.
exactly a year ago
Yeah.
in December. He had one of the most brutal and vicious knockouts we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we may not see Mitchell again.
Yeah.
I even heard his name
If
mentioned.
if he didn't have CTE before, he definitely has it now.
Yeah, he definitely had it before. Now it's way worse.
I was telling my
Um,
wife about it, and she's like, "It's so crazy that people get in there and just beat each other up." She's like, "Has anyone ever died?" And in my head, I told her no, but in my head, I thought of Mitchell and that fight. I was like, he was close. I almost died.
Can confirm he is still alive.
Yeah.
Quality of life though, I'm not exactly sure. I know that he turned his octagon in his backyard to a chicken coop. So
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He lives in Arkansas. He's pretty big hillbilly, that guy. But yeah, he turned an octagon in his backyard to a chicken coop. So we're not quite sure the mental status of Bryce Mitchell at the moment, but he is
Or
still
he's a
alive.
genius. Who knows?
Is he just doing cockfighting back there?
It could. That's a theory. You know what I mean? That's a legitimate theory for
I
sure.
watch.
Josh Emmett is 1-2 in his last 3. He lost to Topuria, obviously. He lost to Rodriguez. He beat Bryce Mitchell by knockout. But he hadn't fought in a year after that knockout, which is, he's getting older. So, I think if he's still planning on fighting, unless he's retired, if he's still planning on fighting, I think, it's a great call out for Lerone Murphy. I think it's appropriate. Like it's not like he's asking for. It's not like he asked for a title shot. Like if he asked for a title shot after
Diego
that,
Lopez.
or that, you're not asking for a number 1 contender fight or asking for a title shot after that performance. Like if he had went out there and starched Dan Ige, who just went to decision with Diego Lopez on 4 hours notice, you know what I mean? Then I'd be like, oh, okay, But it's not like he had a ridiculous call out. It's an appropriate call out. I like it. He's 12 right now after a win. Josh Emmett's 8. He's undefeated
bump
still.
up a little bit. What about Aljamain Sterling?
So Aljamain's fighting Mobzar Evlov. Aljo's 9, Mobzar's 5. They fight in December at UFC 310.
Okay. And he's trying to work his way up the list so he can get his title shot.
Yeah, so if he beats Mobzar, he's not far from a title shot. Like that puts him top 5. That puts him maybe 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot.
Yeah, because you got Volk's going to fight him, going to fight Topuria, and then Diego Lopez.
Potentially Diego Lopez. But that's what I mean. You I don't know what happens with if Aljamain, former bantamweight champion, goes out there and finishes Mobzar, who is undefeated.
You could see him and Diego Lopez.
Yeah, I could see him, Diego Lopez, as the next number 1 contender fight. There's definitely a path. 1 or 2 fights for Aljo, but Lerone Murphy, I think that's a good call out, dude. Josh Emmett, and it's dangerous. Who the fuck calls out Josh Emmett? Like, that's not a safe
Especially
call
after
out
his
either.
last fight.
Right? Like I don't care how old he is, dude. That dude still got rockets in his hands, man.
Hell yeah, he does.
Then we go the light heavyweight bout between, which was really highly anticipated.
Yeah, it was technically. It was the
contender?
number 1 contender fight for Magomed, and it was a really, really if Rakic won, it's a pretty good statement win to push him into.
I think it would have put him back into potentially a number 1 contender.
Yeah,
fight.
number 1 contender fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I wasn't impressed. I don't think in either of these guys are beating fucking Alex.
No, I don't either.
The same thing's going to happen to them that happens to every other person he fights. Maybe worse.
Yeah, I do. I would like to see. Magomed is really defensive. I've never really seen him get hit super hard. Like even against Jan Blachowicz.
He was leaving his leg exposed.
Yeah.
Like the whole fight. Like Alex is going to just.
Alex is going to tear that up.
And actually, as the fight went on, Rakic didn't he stopped attacking the leg, but they even mentioned it. I don't know if it was DC, but they talked about him just leaving his leg out, and if he has to go fight Alex,
you
can't do that.
He's going to kick his leg off, dude.
Yeah,
they're going to have to amputate it after the fight.
I do
if you
think,
wanted to sit here and watch decision lightweight fights or light heavyweight fights all fucking day, then like sure, let's put Magomed in there. But like, who the fuck wants to do that?
Not me
Yeah, Alex
or
ain't
anyone.
taking his ass to decision. I can assure you that.
nah. Alex is taking nobody to decision.
Yeah.
Well, let me say nobody's taking Alex to decision.
Exactly.
That's probably the
Not
better
5
way to word
rounds. Hell
has
no.
he had any decisions?
Yes, one,
Yeah,
I believe,
one.
in his UFC career.
Was that when he first went into
That was
light heavyweight?
No, that was yes, Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then
okay.
maybe two.
Yeah.
So then maybe two. His first fight at light heavyweight was Jan Blachowicz. That was a decision win, and he may have had one at middleweight. I'm not sure.
Like, where do we come back and talk about Jan Blachowicz? Like, what really happened to him, dude?
I don't know. I mean, he's still ranked fourth.
Yeah, but he hasn't.
He's also
fought.
40 something, right? How old is he? 42. He's like
I don't know.
Stipe.
Is he
He's like
that
the
old?
light heavyweight version of Stipe, except not really as good.
But like I said, he hasn't fought since
In a year and a half.
Alex.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he has not fought in about a year and a half. Before that, he came to a draw against Ankalaev, which, I was talking to you
And
guys
he knocked
about
out
earlier.
Rakic.
Yeah. He did, yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah. I think I will say this. I did think Magomed looked good in this fight.
Sure.
But as this, as it was kind of proposed to be a number one contender fight, if Magomed wins, I mean, even before this fight, Magomed probably should have been fighting for a title. That was the general consensus. And, then they announced this fight. It was kind of random. But, so all he had to do was get a win here. He's going to fight for a title against Alex Pereira next, whenever that may be. But, yeah, I mean, I was impressed. It's a good win. Rakic is definitely a dangerous dude.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. We've seen it, Yuri. We've seen it with Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
We just saw with Cleo Roundtree. Like all of these guys are big guys. All of them have power. All of them are good strikers. None of them are on that level.
Agree.
I would say if anybody is going to go the grappling route against Pereira, I bet it would be Ankalaev.
I agree.
Even though, he's not really a grappler, he's more of a kickboxer. I think if anybody's going to try to take that style, it would probably be Magomed.
Yeah, but I still don't feel like, Pereira's his takedown defense is still not
people
bad.
have tried. Yeah, Jan Blachowicz did it.
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't win him the fight.
Exactly.
And isn't that the fight we were talking about? Like, they just assume because he's from over
Yeah.
there that he's a wrestler, but his takedown accuracy is only 31% or something.
Yeah.
So
he's not a great grappler. I mean, it's a lot different at this division too. These guys are big.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same as like the bantamweight, like Marab's or the 145s. Like it's totally different game. But I can see him like attempting at least.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so hard to fucking beat Pereira.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody.
He's
at
going
the
to stay
moment.
the champ until he's done fighting.
Yeah, possible.
Which already being, 37 and still as dominant as he is, he probably could do it till he's 40.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like, if he's going to take some time off, like, I don't know what he's going to do.
He'll fight early next year.
I agree.
You think so?
Yeah. I just think he likes it too much.
I think do you want me to be honest? I think what we see, I think we see Alex versus Tom Aspinall.
I mean,
I don't know. He seemed like he wasn't interested in going to heavyweight anymore.
Sure, but
like he was
doesn't mean he
comfortable
won't.
at 205.
Yeah.
But man, just imagine John and Stipe lay him down, and it leaves open a vacant heavyweight title, and
It's
Dana
the perfect
calls you and
storyline.
says,
Yeah.
"Hey, here's your chance. We're gonna give it to you." Like,
I feel
try
like
to
he
be
would
the
have
first ever.
to. He's not going to say no.
Yeah.
Because he's
not-
the guy. He never says no.
Yeah,
If
and
they
not to get-
approached him with that, he
Yeah.
would do it.
Yeah. And not to get too far off topic and getting into heavyweight stuff, because we'll have plenty to talk about in 3 weeks after we go to New York. But like who else fights him? Like who in the heavyweight division fights Aspinall for that belt?
I mean, would you rather watch Magomed and Alex or Alex and Tom?
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
of
that's a
course, yeah,
no-brainer.
absolutely. Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, so also at UFC 310, just this is the last thing I'll say on this part of what we're talking about, but the also fighting on UFC 310 is Cyril Gane and Alexander Volkov.
Volkov, yeah.
They were supposed to
Um,
fight this card, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which
Cyril
could
Gane,
potentially be a number one contender
yeah,
fight.
Cyril
for
Gane's last
open.
fight, he lost to John Jones for the heavyweight belt, but Volkov's been on a tear.
Yep.
Obviously you have
He's
Aspinall.
also old.
He is, yeah, but those guys are the top of the division. Aspinall hasn't fought either one of them, so I think it would
Yep.
make sense if it wasn't a fight with Alex that you would have
Winner of that.
winner of Cyril Gane versus
Yeah.
Alexander Volkov fight Tom Aspinall to become the undisputed. Technically, Aspinall is still the interim champ, but as soon as John Jones and Stipe fight, one of them becomes the heavyweight champion. If they retire, Aspinall needs to fight somebody to be the
Undisputed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Murky froze up, but it's
He
all
did
good.
freeze.
Did
We'll
I?
keep it going?
Oh,
yeah,
you're
you
back.
froze up.
You're
You're
back.
good. You're back.
All right.
We're good.
All right. Hopefully it didn't cut out too bad.
Just
No,
for
All
a
right, so
second.
we'll move on. Your co-main event, which was wild.
Insane.
Robert Whitaker, the Reaper,
Yeah.
versus Khamzat Bors Chimaev.
Didn't expect it to go that easily.
Me either.
I mean, no. I honestly didn't see. I did not see Khamzat being able to finish him in the first round, and I knew that would be his path to victory because I did think if it got to the third, the fourth, the fifth round,
Yeah.
obviously everybody that
Yeah.
was the talking point that would favor Whitaker. But he literally squeezed his jaw off
Literally.
Squeezed
in
his
a
jaw.
in a second, in like 1 second. As soon as he grabbed it, if anybody's listening, you watch. I posted the picture on Twitter as well as Instagram. So if you're not, following us on our social medias, go follow us there over the Octagon Podcast. There's a picture of Robert Whitaker's jaw with his front two teeth on the bottom pushed into his mouth.
Yeah, like almost like it like folded down
Yeah.
from his jawbone cracked, folded down, or his teeth folded through his gums. They were
Something.
pointed back at his tongue.
That was rough.
Wild.
And it happened like immediately. And
Yeah.
in the post-fight press conference, they asked Khamzat Chimaev if he saw the picture. He did. They showed him that
Yeah.
picture right before he walked into the post-fight presser. He said he saw that picture. He said, hate that I'm sorry for breaking his jaw, but that's my job. My job is to hurt people.
Cause pain.
Cause pain, right? And he said that when he grabbed it, he felt a click, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But imagine that. Like, imagine
Cracking
feeling
his
that. Yeah, you as
jaw
soon
like
as you
that.
grab it,
Yeah.
you felt that click on your arm. He tapped immediately.
Yeah. I've never seen
Yeah,
somebody
that's
tap that
wild.
fast.
It in the moment, it seemed like I couldn't comprehend it. I didn't understand. Like, that was way too quick. It wasn't a choke.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious. Like, there's no way just from a
Something
choke
bigger.
you tap that quick. I mean, dude, so I don't know, and then right after the fight, obviously, while they were still in the octagon, Whitaker was pointing to his face, then he
Yeah.
opened his mouth and he showed his coach. So, like, he had to have felt that or known.
Oh yeah.
Which
Even with the
is-
adrenaline rushing, you know
Yeah.
something not good happened.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I feel
just-
bad for Bobby Knuckles because
Yeah.
like he was one of the only ones that said yes to a fight like this. I mean,
yeah.
a lot of people were ducking Khamzat, dude. And to take on the 13th ranked guy after you just had a massive win with a potential chance of becoming, the next in line. And then
Yeah, but these are the things you have to
say
do
yes,
because yeah, I think everyone knew that Khamzat being 13th wasn't really 13th. Like they knew that he was going to be a contender. There were
Yeah.
some questions about whether or not he was even going to fight again because he had the health issues and doesn't fight often.
Yeah.
I love Strickland calls him cum shot. That's fucking great. He's like, nobody's worried about cum shot, dude. I'm fighting DDP next, bro. Back up.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? So I mean that seems to be it's already that's what Strickland says. It's already been written. It's a done deal. Strickland versus DDP rematch. That's the thing.
Do we have a date on that yet or no?
Nah. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it ain't done deal.
And I'm not even like that
I
interested.
feel like
in
Strickland
watching
would
that
have
fight,
such
to be
a
honest.
meltdown if he doesn't get the shot. He'll have
It would
like
be a
fucking
meltdown of epic
crybaby.
proportions. Yeah.
He may just quit the fighting.
I will say this. You know, it was a controversial. He deserves a rematch. I'll say that. Strickland deserves a rematch. It was a controversial decision the first time when he lost, when he dropped the belt.
Yeah.
You know, he let Izzy step in front of him and challenge for it.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I think so, because that was originally the fight that was supposed to be made anyway, was DDP Izzy.
Yeah.
You know, but like with just such a dominant win like that, it definitely begs the question. I mean, Khamzat, like me personally, fuck it, give it to him. Honestly, fuck it, give it to him. That's just like I would rather see. I think it's more exciting.
Yeah.
In my eyes, it's more exciting of a fight. I know the fight I'm going to get with Strickland versus DDP.
Yeah.
I've seen it already. It's going to be the same thing. I know what that fight's going to look like. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure that it's going to look much different. You know?
I don't think it would either. Well, and you mentioned it during the fight because we talk a lot of shit about these guys who are the crotch sniffing wrestlers, hold people down.
Not Khamzat.
But you made the comment today.
Yeah.
It's different with him.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that. Tell me why is it so different?
Because he actually, when he gets you down, he fucking does stuff with it. You know, he doesn't hold you. He just doesn't hold you down and try to like.
He is a motherfucker, dude.
I know.
Yeah, his pace, his 3-round pace. I'm just gonna say 3-round pace. His 15-minute pace is unlike anybody else's. Like everybody says, like, oh, Merab's pace. Like, dude, Khamzat's pace is insane.
Yeah. Khamzat's pace is unique. It's otherworldly. Like there's nobody in the company that fights the way that he does. I truthfully.
Well, I think he's looking for the finish, right? He wants to finish guys.
From the opening bell.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Herb Dean was saying when he said what he said about like why we let fights go on, why we stand people up, or why we don't do things. It's like because we want to see fighters, if they get you down, go for the finish. Like that's the whole point. Fights aren't meant to go to decision, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
You're supposed to be in there trying to finish the fight.
Absolutely.
Like, that's what you're there for, you know?
He is just constant. Like, first off, the shot that he took on Whitaker, the double leg that he took on Whitaker was from 10 feet away.
I know.
Yeah.
He dove
so
at his legs, wrapped his legs up, still got him down.
Yep.
And then he's just on you constantly. Yep. And it's not like Merab was like that to O'Malley, right? But like the strikes he was landing on O'Malley were like kneeing him in the thigh and he's like tapping him. And
yeah.
Like Khamzat's just like on top of your back. All of his weight is on you. He's punching you in the face. He's constantly at the same time, simultaneously looking to advance his position in the grappling, looking for a submission. Like, and Whitaker was doing really well defending all of those things until he wasn't. And we said it while we were watching the fight this afternoon. Like, you can't make a mistake.
Yep.
Because this dude is fucking on it. And the second you make a mistake, it's it.
Well, every move he makes, every punch he throws, obviously is an attempt to do damage, but it's also an attempt to move your hand to a place or your arm to a place or get you to roll to a spot that he wants you to be in so he can do the next thing he's trying to do, and he just does it flawlessly. Doesn't make mistakes trying to get there, doesn't give himself up.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about that is, like, you know, grappling in that sense is like a chess game, right? So like you look to be a move or two ahead, right? You're thinking moves ahead, but you know, you can obviously do different things that cause different reactions. So in a moment in those exchanges, there's 2 or 3 different things that you could do that he would have to react in a split second 2 or 3 different ways. And in all of those 2 or 3 different ways, think 2 or 3 moves ahead.
Yeah,
so if he reacts this way, right, and then each one of those sets off its own chain reaction, like it's just this constant game, right? And that's what fighting is. It's similar in the stand-up game, but and his ability to do that, and then at the same time just keep constant pressure. You can't take a second off. You can't make a single mistake.
Yep.
This is one of the best guys in the world. This is the number 3 middleweight in the world, a former champion, a guy that's been on a tear that people love, your favorite fighter, people say, or whatever. Like, I mean, to do what he just snapped his jaw off.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
In the first round.
So realistically, do you think that there's anybody in this division in middleweight that can beat
gives him problems?
Like legit problems, because we thought Whitaker was going to give him problems, and he didn't.
Yeah, I thought Whitaker would be able to withstand the initial onslaught to get in the later rounds and make it more of like a slugfest striking battle, like we saw against Usman or Gilbert Burns. His fight against Gilbert Burns. I would say like potentially, and this might be crazy, but like Kai Baralho.
You mean be honest? Who I think gives him the biggest problem?
Yeah,
the champ.
DDP?
Yeah. 100%, man.
Yeah.
I mean, DDP is strong as fuck, dude.
Yeah. It's a different build. Yeah.
He's a different build. His style of fighting is so unique. And I had to learn that because at first I didn't believe in DDP, man. But after watching him beat Izzy, beat Strickland, and like beat Robert Whitaker, like his fighting style is hard to beat.
Absolutely.
Because he does not get like he reminds me of I've said it a million times. He reminds me of Pantoja. Like they just have this weird like head where they could just go for fucking 5 rounds and look like they're losing and be drained and like almost on their deathbed and then somehow just fucking win.
Yeah, it does.
Just doesn't make sense.
It does seem that way for sure.
I mean, Kai Barola is a good second.
I just bring that up
out of Strickland.
I just bring that up solely for the like the grappling, like who could give him kind of a run for his money in that, or at least defend themselves long enough and hold their own long enough, to make that fight competitive. Yeah, I don't think Strickland stands a chance at all.
Stands a chance at all either.
I don't honestly, and I like Sean Strickland. We all do, like we both do. There's no way.
Oh, he's getting taken down with the quickness, bro.
Yeah, I think
immediately.
I think Sean Strickland fighting Khamzat Chimaev is the grappling alternative to how Sean Strickland fought Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm going to stand in front of this dude and strike.
Trying to jab him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not.
Wrong guy, motherfucker. Wrong guy.
You're not. You're going to need a left hook, and you're not going to know where you are anymore.
Nope.
I think it's going to be the same thing with Khamzat, except Khamzat's going to do what he just did to Robert Whitaker.
Yep.
He's going to get Strickland down. He's going to drown him.
Yep.
So that's honestly, when you talk about the title, I would rather that fight is more interesting to me. Khamzat versus Dricus du Plessis is more interesting to me than watching DDP Strickland 2.
I agree.
Personally.
Like I also think that I would enjoy the Strickland meltdown a little bit if he didn't get the fight.
It would be so bad.
It would be bad.
It would be really bad. And it would be so bad because he would honestly have a case. Because he has been nothing but a company man for the UFC. Like, he fought everybody they told him to fight, and other people in his position, the ranks that he was at in the middleweight division, would have never taken those fights. Like, he fought the guy who fought tonight, Abus Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
He fought him at the Apex where everybody thought he was big. Yeah, this huge, scary guy. And, Strickland's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll fight him. He's fought down in the rankings. Like, he's been such a company guy, it would really be kind of dirty business.
Yeah.
He would absolutely have a case to have a meltdown. But from a fan's perspective, I don't really care.
Yeah, and I think Dana White typically tries to do the right thing, and if he said that that's the fight, that's going to be the fight.
That
But
will be the fight.
We can wish. But that will be the
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I think DDP Strickland will be the fight. Hopefully January. Hopefully.
Yeah,
And
I
him
think
jump-
I hope
Izzy
that's
has
the
to
next-
fight. I think Izzy has to win twice before he even gets another snip
Yeah.
of the title run.
Yeah, I think that's the next. Hopefully Strickland DDP's January. Hopefully that's the next events that we get announced. We've gotten 310 announced in December, so I'm assuming 311 in January, and we get those announcements soon. And the main event of that will probably be DDP Strickland.
Will that be
If I had to guess.
Australia? No, that'll be in January, right?
Yeah,
January.
yeah. So I hope that is the case. But, we'll have to see. But either way, man, I mean, he was the favorite tonight, and he went out there and he showed why. And
Sure.
I didn't think it was going to go quite like that. I thought it could, but I didn't. My honest prediction for that, I had Whitaker. I'm like, I think this is levels, and Whitaker's going to be too good, and Whitaker's going to bring him into the later rounds,
Yeah.
and Whitaker will win. We never seen Khamzat in those 4th and 5th round fights.
Yep.
We've seen him struggle in the late 3rd round against Usman, and Usman was on short notice. So what are we going to do? Whitaker's been training for him for 20 weeks. He was supposed to fight him back in June or July. So I really thought Whitaker was going to have a really good game plan and come in here.
Shit, I wouldn't even be mad if they ran that back 5 rounds.
What? Usman and
Khamzat.
Yeah, Usman, I don't know where Usman ends up. I think Usman is going back to welterweight.
I know he talks on the podcast with what he does it with Brandon
pound
Moreno.
for pound with Henry Cejudo.
Henry
Eddie
Cejudo,
Cejudo.
Yeah, they're both Mexican. It's all right.
Yeah.
Diego Lopez.
I was close. Yeah, so and he talks about it like he still talks about himself as if like this person's the best, other than me. Like he wants to get back in there, but
Yeah, I think he's the 2nd ranked welterweight right now still, technically. He's not ranked at middleweight. He had moved up to middleweight to fight Khamzat, and
short notice.
I think Usman goes back down to welterweight, and you see him fight a guy like JDM, Jack Della Maddalena.
See that too.
And
I think JDM may fight Leon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Kamaru, but either way, Khamzat, what's there to say? I mean, just fucking
Nothing
dominate.
more, nothing less, brother.
And that was a performance tonight bonus for Khamzat and also for Shara. I don't know if I mentioned that when we were talking about that one earlier.
Shara
But both
didn't
of
get
them,
one. I made boycott.
Yeah, both of them got performance tonight bonuses, as well as your featherweight champion of the world, an indoor main event. You guys made me go through this entire thing backwards.
It was purposeful.
I thought we were ending. We're done, right? Episode's done.
You can't be done.
I know, dude. I'm going to say this before I let you go in and have your whatever. Hopefully, just 2 minutes, but probably going to be 12.
No, it won't be.
I'm tired as a fan, and I'm a newer fan, right? It's like I've probably been following it now for a couple years, and then really heavy over the last year. Everybody I fucking like keeps losing, dude, and it's really hurting my soul.
That's
because you came in on a lot of people's
This is the changing of the guard.
I know, dude.
Yeah, this is the changing of the guard.
It's not even like Sean O'Malley's still young and but it's just like this guy. I'm just like him, Dustin Poirier, who I knew was on the tail end, had a really good fight, but it's just like everyone, dude. And then tonight crushes my soul, man.
Welcome to the sport, brother. It's
just
tough.
You know how many times I've had my heart broken, dude. If anybody on this podcast has been in depression mode more than the rest of these fucks, it's me.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to start rooting for the foreigners, dude.
Dude,
I'll see you in a few weeks.
Just don't be fucking biased, dude. Just don't be just don't like have your favorites and just go in there overconfident because your favorites are bound to lose at some point.
Yeah. I will say this. Can I have 2 minutes? You give me my fucking 2 minutes now?
Go ahead. Get your fucking 2 minutes in.
I was trying to avoid it.
I'll say this. I went into this fight nervous. I went into this fight second guessing. Like, I even texted you, and called you the other day. We talked so much. I'm like, I can see Max winning the decision. I'm like, man, I don't know. I think it's too much. even watching the fight,
Yeah, first 2 rounds.
which, I don't know if you saw the scorecards, but
Crazy.
Ilia won the first 2 rounds. Anyway.
Did they give him the first 2?
Crazy.
2018. 2 judges had it 2018. Ilia,
didn't-
1 judge had it 1919. Either way, regardless of that, I will not feel like that moving forward. I'll tell you that. Like,
Hell no.
against anybody, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's only a matter of time. That's just how I'm going to feel from now on. He's got 5 rounds to close distance and land a shot, and you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like, this is, we heard it. I heard it from you guys after the Volk fight. Volk's compromised. That's why that happened.
It is
Oh,
still
don't
why
you
that happened.
Stop.
Don't
Stop.
start that
Stop.
shit.
That's
Why it happened.
that's what was said, right? That's why that happened. Volk was compromised. That's why that happened. But that's not going to happen here. Nobody knocks out Max Holloway. Now, what I'm not going to allow to happen is to go, oh, well, Max Chin had to be cracked at some point. He's on the decline, because that's what I've already started to see on the internet. I'm not going to stand for that. Everybody mutually agrees as a fan base leading up to that. Max is in his fucking prime. They were talking about him fighter of the year when he wins this fight. There was no decline talk. There's no nothing.
I agree with you.
Prime
I
Max
agree with you on
Holloway.
that too.
I would only say that to watch you react in the way.
Yeah,
that
I'm not
you
going to stand
react,
for
right?
it. I'm not going to stand for any of the coping
mess with you.
excuses this time.
But he just
I
came off
could
a huge win, like one of the
Yeah.
best knockouts, if not the best, second best
Ever.
now maybe.
Well, no,
After
there's
the double
no
spinning
there
back fist.
should be no excuse for this fight, like at all. There should be no excuse.
there's no
Yeah.
excuse.
If anybody gives an excuse for this fight, then they're just fucking.
It's just
idiots.
coping hard, bro.
No,
It's
but there
just-
isn't a
exactly what
reason
it
to
is.
say something about the Volk fight, though. Because
Sure,
Volk
but
was coming off of an insane
Sure.
knockout.
but it doesn't even
He is-
fucking matter. My point is, at this point now, after watching what we just watched, there's not a single person in the featherweight division that I would fear him to fight.
I agree.
I think if he
agree.
fights Volk again, I think the same thing happens. I think if they give him Diego Lopez, I don't think Diego Lopez is. I've seen him get clipped, and he throws, and he's a fan favorite for a reason. He's a super exciting fighter. His grappling is elite, but he throws and he leaves his chin open,
Wide open.
Yeah, and I think if he eats that left hook, buddy, it's over.
Dude, imagine if O'Malley would have beat Merab and then they would have set up O'Malley versus Topuria.
Yeah,
Dude, O'Malley would have gotten fucking killed, dude.
Yeah,
he would be dead.
Up a weight class. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
He would be dead.
I would wonder to see what he
It's a
would
better
look like
matchup.
up a weight class, and I do think, like, I know Max is good, but I think from a pure striking accuracy, I think that O'Malley and Topuria fight a little bit more tactfully than Max does. Max is a little bit more of a wild thrower.
I don't know if you can say that after that Gaethje fight. And then
I disagree, man. I think Max was a way bigger challenge for Topuria.
I don't know if you can say I just think, well, you never know with up a weight class. Like, I think the
Even
power
same
that
class,
I think the power that Topuria has
crazy.
it causes a problem for anybody in his division, not to mention somebody from a lesser division.
Yeah, it is
You know what
crazy
I mean?
how like he's not big and he does produce. I mean, to
It's
knock out a guy
stupid.
that's never been knocked out is pretty
Yeah, I
impressive.
mean, and so I will say that I don't see anybody fucking beating him. Here's what I'll say on the flip side of the coin, because I've seen a lot of talk already, and it's recency bias. People are fucking excited. People lose their minds anytime something big happens. Number one, he's not fighting Conor McGregor next.
Dude, I was just about to bring it up.
So stop. Conor McGregor cannot make 145 pounds. So
No.
to
Would
even
that
bring
be
that
a
up
fight
is
great? Would that be one of the craziest matchups of all time?
that would probably do the biggest pay-per-view numbers
Yeah,
like
I
that
agree.
that would be insane.
Conor
Conor-
McGregor's getting knocked out.
Connor can't make 145 pounds, dude. It's impossible. That's never going to happen. Number 2, he's not fighting Islam next either. Like that's
Who knows?
he defended the belt one time. Yeah, one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He's not
But-
he's not moving up and fighting the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world at lightweight. I think that's a bad fight for Ilia. I do. I don't think that's smart at all. Islam's fucking huge.
But they have to make a fight that's going to be worthy because there's no he has literally beaten
So he fights
the
Volk
1
again.
and 2 greatest,
gonna
like
fight-
potentially greatest featherweights of all time.
So
He's got to
Aldo
fight
and
Volk
McGregor.
again.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's got to
gotta
fight. He's got to fight Diego Lopez.
Yeah,
He's got to fight those two.
He's
before
going
they
to fight
start.
Volk again, and after he fights Volk again, hopefully in the meantime, Diego Lopez fights the winner of Aljamain Sterling and Movsar Evloev. I know Diego wants that fight against Movsar.
Yeah, back.
You know what I mean? Because he fought him on his debut and on short notice and lost a really close decision that arguably he could have won.
Yep.
Movsar, I'm not a fan of. I think is a fraud. So I would say, Diego fights winner of that fights for the title, and if Diego gets a win over one of those two guys, that definitely elevates him to that level of, being qualified, so to speak, or being right for a title shot. I don't know that it even makes sense right now. Like, he beat Brian Ortega, but I don't know that it really makes sense currently at the moment to give Diego Lopez a title shot. I think if he beats the winner of that or one of those guys between Aljo and Movsar, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Max obviously now is more seriously considering moving up to lightweight.
Yeah.
And taking some fights at 155,
Which is probably his best bet.
I mean, he's
Comfortable in his
for
weight,
some
he's big.
reason. For some reason, the UFC did this shit slick on the sly. Well, not the UFC, the media, I guess, because they still control the rankings. Max Holloway moved up 3 places in the lightweight rankings before this fight happened. I saw that earlier this week because people were like, "What the fuck? Why?" And it makes no sense. I don't know. Like, how does he move ahead of Dan Hooker? Dan Hooker, whatever. But he's the number 5th ranked lightweight technically in the world right now. So, and he mentioned a retirement fight with Dustin Poirier, like having that fight again and being Dustin Poirier's retirement fight, which that would be a fucking phenomenal fight.
That'd be great.
But I don't think he's going to really be in the mix at featherweight anymore.
It would almost be with no implications though. Like if he's doing that just to have a legend versus a legend for him to go
him
out.
versus Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before he fought Gaethje for the BMF, he fought Korean Zombie and knocked him out. And where was
his
that?
retirement.
That was in like a weird place, right, Dirty?
I feel like it was in Florida.
No. It was in Asia somewhere because it was like close to Hawaii. It was after the Maui fires.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was it in China?
No, I forget where that was.
Taiwan.
No, it was
Singapore?
Yeah, Singapore. I think it was Singapore.
Singapore. Yeah. Something like that. So, but I think, he takes those fights and, that's why people loved Max so much for shit like that. And I think a fight him versus Dustin, people would love that, bro. That's a co-main event on a pay-per-view. Easy. You know what I mean?
Could be a main event.
Could be. Most of the time.
Could be the co-main to Islam and somebody else,
Yeah.
You think Islam
Arman Sarukian?
You think he's fighting again
this
for
year?
February?
No.
So where he's not fighting again then until next summer.
I think he took a break too because he's hurt, right? And didn't he get hurt or something like that?
So he was supposed to fight, or I think they were talking about him fighting in December at 310. But then he hurt his knee or he did something. Yeah, Islam was hurt. So I don't know when we'll see him. Hopefully we see him in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, maybe the Australian card. Who knows?
Yeah. But either way, that would be a good fight. I think they were talking about doing something in Louisiana. And maybe that would be like some kind of fight night in Louisiana, and Poirier Holloway would be the main event of that.
Yeah, headline. Yeah, that'd be great.
For Poirier's retirement in Louisiana.
You think they'd give Poirier a fight night retirement though after all he's done?
In Louisiana, yeah.
Hell
Because
yeah.
it would be a crazy crowd. Like it would be it would be big. It would be big.
Yeah, it'd be
and he
worth
makes
it.
whatever he makes anyway. Like
We
he's
flying
still...
to Louisiana for a fight night?
I would consider it for that. That would be one to do it for.
Finally, I can drive somewhere.
He hates Louisiana though, so I don't know if he's
Yeah, I hate Louisiana, but I'd go.
I've never been there.
So what's next for those guys? I think that makes sense for Holloway. Move up to lightweight, fight Poirier again, retirement fight for Poirier potentially. Ilia, it looks like they brought Volk in the cage.
Yeah.
They kind of seem to both mutually agree to do it again. Ilia class act too, bro.
Yeah,
know,
that kind of
man.
pissed me off.
I know. I
You
wanted
want
to
to hate him.
I want to hate him. I want to hate him. But he was trying to be too nice. Fuck him.
I don't. It's not an act, brother.
I think
It's not an act.
Dude. It's
It's not an act. That dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed fairly
Genuine
to me when he was talking about Max and being a legend and how he grew up and like watched him and like, and he says that. I mean, they're only 5 years apart, 6 years apart.
I mean, Toporia's not losing
5,
losing
yeah.
to anybody, I think, in that division.
no.
I don't see it. I don't see it. And again, like this is I'll go back to my point. Like even if, there's nobody in that division. This was the only fight I think in that division to where I go, man, I don't know. But now after he's done what nobody else in the world or in the UFC has ever been able to do, now I go, and I don't care who he fights, that my attitude will be, yeah, all right, I don't care. He lost round 1. So what? It's a matter of time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just wait.
I think that even if he were to like win the next couple fights and then go take some lightweight fights, like I don't think anyone other than Islam beats him in lightweight.
Yeah, he's taken some lightweight. He's fought at lightweight before, Ilia, and they wanted to book him versus Paddy Pimblett a few years ago because they got in a scuffle backstage one time.
Yeah,
and actually around that time is where like I kind of became as big of a fan of his as I am, because like I remember thinking that and like thinking like, dude, if you want to end Paddy Pimblett's career as quickly as possible, you feed him to Ilia Topuria. Like,
yeah, but what if? How cool would it be though if Paddy stays on a tear and like say 2 years from now, Paddy's right in line for a number 1 contender shot or a championship fight, and Topuria's still the champ, and then we actually see it happen.
Paddy's 14 at lightweight. The problem with lightweight, dude, is some of these guys are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like you have a lot of guys that arguably, like a Jalen Turner, even like arguably is a welterweight and fights at lightweight. Moicano, huge. Gamrot, huge. Like these guys are big. Like Holloway does not look big against Topuria, and he looks small against these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. It's just like that stuff matters.
Oh, for sure.
Being able to close that distance matters. But I really thought that, Topuria was going to have. That was my biggest concern. Like, is he going to be able to close that distance?
He did.
And he did. I mean, it's just he takes time. He's patient. He doesn't rush anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he throws his shots that he throws. He sets stuff up, but the whole time he's just watching and figuring out what he's going to do, and then, comes with the plan. And the initial shot that he hit Max with that stumbled him, he just slapped him. He threw a left hand that just slapped his arm that made him move just enough to then come over the top with a right hand he put right in the center of his face.
Yeah, Max's his hands were down by his side when he got caught.
Yeah, and it was he went to block the left hand, and then he was wide open. He threw a right over the top, planted him in the face. And then, he was still throwing. It was still dangerous. But, like, even in the finish, you watch, like, he's just patient. He doesn't put, like, he's in a bad spot. He could potentially be in a bad spot. Max is still dangerous. He's throwing back, and he's throwing hard.
Yeah.
Max did, though, try to clinch.
Yep.
And he threw a knee that didn't do anything. And when he did that, when the knee came back down, his arms were still on Ilia's shoulders, and nothing was protecting his head.
Yeah.
And a left hook came right over his arm, and that's it, brother.
Lights out.
It's just that his fucking power is crazy.
It
He
is
took
crazy.
him down. You know, like he didn't have a ton of success with the grappling, but you know, they said it even on the commentary team. Like you're just mixing shit in to make him think about.
Yep.
That's all. It's just
For sure.
it's all a fucking chess game, dude. And he just masterclass. He played it perfectly. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, which is why, you know, he's such a badass because, like, you know, that's why everybody loved Conor McGregor so much. And I don't want to compare him to Conor McGregor. People do that shit enough. I think it's corny, but like, I'm not trying to do that. But my point is, like, back in the day, he became such a superstar because of his antics, but because he backed up what the fuck he said.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock him out. It's like, yeah, all right. But then he goes out there and does it. Like, that's how he became such a huge superstar.
Sure.
It's not just the suits and the shit that he talked on the mic. All that was part of it. But if that's all you had and you didn't actually go out there and perform, then it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's kind of doing the same thing. He's talking all the shit. He's saying exactly what he's going to do. And then he goes out there and fucking does it.
Yep.
And I'd say a majority of the people prior to this fight thought there's no way he's knocking him out.
Yeah.
Us included.
Yeah.
I thought there was a chance. Like I told you, like I wouldn't be surprised, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, Max takes him to a decision either.
Yeah, I mean,
You
there was
know?
always a lot of talk about Max never got knocked down, never got knocked out, and you know, I've seen him in fights get stunned by getting hit, and I think even he got knocked down against Gaethje, wasn't it? And then at the end, in the press conference, they were talking about it, and he was like, "They didn't count it as a knockdown." Okay, cool.
Yeah, right,
Like,
right.
because he got
He's
knocked down.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I will say, you know, even the you know, Paul Felder, I think, was the one that said it. Like, I never seen him wobbled like that.
Yeah.
When he got hit with that initial right hand, he immediately was like
Yeah.
like moonwalking backwards.
Yeah.
Like that's something we really haven't seen.
Yeah. The only person I know that has a chin that can't be phased is Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, facts.
He's the only one.
Fuck it, dude. Give Ilia Topuria. Fuck it.
Yeah, we need to see that.
I just want to see if he can knock him out.
Yeah. Just see if it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. After he ate that knee from O'Malley, I don't see there's any way.
I don't think that there is.
Oh man, but I don't know, man. I am. I don't know. I'm thrilled. I know most people probably aren't. I'm so fucking happy.
I mean, it would have been a lot better if at least Robert Whitaker would have won.
I know.
Dude.
And I'm not
Sit
necessarily
there
unhappy.
watching the dudes lose, bro. Like,
Yeah, it sucks to see Max lose. You know, you have to accept that these newer, younger generation guys are going to come in and start to take over. You need
see, that's the thing, Wounded. You don't have to accept it, dude. Fuck that.
You
don't have
you need
to
new
accept it, dude.
superstars, and I'm going to say this now because like I still wish Max would have won. If they fought again in a month from now, 3 months from now, I'd be rooting for Max, and have hopes that he could do it because I think he's skilled enough. But you know, even today going into it, I was like, I just had this feeling. I just knew how good Topuria actually is, you know. But
it's creepy. It's creepy. His whole walkout, like smiling, laughing. I was even saying, like, oh, I don't know, maybe he's too loose.
Yeah.
Like he's too fucking confident, and then he goes out there and does it. You're like, well, I guess he wasn't too fucking confident, was he?
And I feel like a year or
It's
two
crazy.
from now, when Topuria is 29, he's defended his title 3-4 times. We're gonna be singing a different tune about how we feel about him.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be somebody else, right? Like this always happens. There's going to be somebody else that comes behind him. We don't see that person right now as we look at the rankings and talk about, you know, obviously he's fighting Bulk next, but then who's beyond that? We don't really see it.
Yeah.
There's not a clear contender, but somebody will emerge, you know?
Yeah.
His younger brother, by the way, is making his UFC debut in December or January. So
Hey,
On a fight night, I assume.
I don't know. I don't think it's really been announced yet. He said that. He said his brother will be. So I don't know. The UFC
Are they
really
same-
announced anything.
They same weight class?
His brother is a lightweight, I think.
Okay.
His brother's.
He did look like he was a
fights
little
for-
bit bigger, taller.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pretty fucking good too. I think he's undefeated as well.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I would say both
see.
of them have started in jiu-jitsu. They both have jiu-jitsu base. They started jiu-jitsu when they were like fucking 4. And, you know, I would assume his brother's a fucking killer too. I don't know if he has that same power though, because I don't even
We
know
gonna
if that's.
fucking find out.
We are going to find out.
But you got another one coming. Scary.
Yep.
It's scary.
So
Well, that's all I got for this. I don't know
Yep.
if you boys want to mention anything else before we get out of here.
I just want to get
Nah.
people preemptively excited for what the next 3 weeks look like for
Yeah,
us
yeah.
three.
Yeah,
And I
for
say
sure.
3 weeks, I say what's happening in 3 weeks. There's 2 fight nights coming up
Yep.
in a row.
Yeah. Moreno and Abazi next
Yep.
week, which is going to be good. Yeah.
and it's Blanchfield too, in the co-main.
Oh, and Thug Rose.
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
you would bring up the women's MMA fight. You fucking.
I mean,
Right.
you know, I fuck with Thug Rose, man. I'm the
Dude,
best.
yeah.
I'm the best. I'm the best.
No,
know
nobody
how much
fucks
you
with
love
Thug
that.
Rose, dude. Fuck that.
But then UFC 309, Madison
Yep.
Square Garden,
Yep.
going to
People are
New
shitting
York.
on this card, dude. People
How
are
can-
shitting on it.
I mean, it's not great.
It's not as good as the one we saw today. It's not, and even John
No.
Jones and Stipe isn't like the ideal fight, but it's fucking John Jones. He's the
Still
best to ever
John
do it. We get to watch him fight
Yeah.
again.
I mean,
Charles
I'm
Oliveira and Michael Chandler's a
excited
good,
to see Charles Oliveira.
it's
Yeah.
excited. And then Bo
Hell
Nickel
yeah.
we get to see, which is exciting.
Hell yeah.
So,
Absolutely. And we're gonna be there,
yeah.
all three of us. Yeah, I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, I'm
Can't
pretty
fucking
pumped.
wait. If you're gonna be in New York for UFC 309 in Madison Square Garden, let us know. Drop a comment. Let us know.
Shoot a text to the number.
Yeah, you can. If you're listening to the podcast on the audio only formats, there is a link, like I mentioned earlier, in the description. You can click that and send us a direct text message. It comes right to us. And we can talk about some of these upcoming fights, upcoming fight nights, pay-per-views, events, and give us your honest reactions. I won't talk shit to anybody. I swear to God, I've said what I need to
He's
say.
lying.
I won't rub it. I won't. I swear, I won't. I will open it up, dude. We'll be real soft about this, and we'll open the comment section up to be a safe space. It's a safe space.
Yeah.
And you can come cry all you want.
Fuck off.
And you know, Ilia already drank the tears of the casual fan base that was coping already super hard over watching their boy get knocked the fuck out. Anyway, that's all we got.
God damn.
UFC 308 recap. Thomas, thank you for joining us. Joel,
Yeah, I appreciate you
brother.
letting me be on, man. It's fun.
hell yeah.
We
See
in
y'all
there,
on the
boys.
next one, baby.
Yes, sir.